Yes, breaking news coming in. Anil Kumble has decided to step down as Team India's coach. That's the latest we are getting from BCCI sources. This after reports, this after the team today, along with captain Virat Kohli, left for West Indies, and Anil Kumble did not go with the team. He stayed behind. The BCCI initially gave the reason that Kumble has to chair an ICC meet on the 22nd of this month. But now we are getting news from our sources within the Indian Cricket Board that Anil Kumble has decided to step down as India's coach, and a possible rift with Virat Kohli is the reason behind Anil Kumble deciding not to continue as India's head coach. Kumble had a phenomenal year, an unbeaten test season leading India to the #1 spot. Kumble also guided India to the final of the Mini World Cup, the Champions Trophy. Yes, India lost the final, but this is the only one tournament that India has lost under Anil Kumble in the past 1 year. However, after reports of a rift between Anil Kumble and Virat Kohli, now it seems that the former India spinner and captain has decided to step down from his post as India's coach. Nikhil Chopra is live with me here in our India Today studios. Nikhil, BCCI sources saying Anil Kumble will not continue as coach. That may be the reason why he has not gone with the team to West Indies. But he had a phenomenal season. It's a loss for Indian cricket that someone of the stature of Anil Kumble has decided to step down. And if there are rifts between captain and coach, then those needed to be resolved, isn't it?
It's unfortunate. It's definitely a loss for somebody of Anil Kumble's stature to be with the team. He'll only help. I'm not sure about the rift between Virat Kohli and Anil Kumble. But to be honest, Shobit, this was on the wall. The writing was on the wall. You know, somebody of that stature, somebody who's led the country, you know, phenomenal record in terms of individual achievements that he's done in international cricket. I was surprised when he got a 1-year contract, and then, you know, during the India home series and the test matches, it should have been an automatic choice till the next World Cup. You know, you would want to extend it. Wasn't the case. I'm a little surprised. You cannot go series to series and, you know, take people for granted. You have got to, you know, respect people of that magnitude who have achieved so much and done a lot for Team India. You look at his record at home season. So, you know, I personally felt that it was probably Anil Kumble's call, and I saw it coming, to be very honest.
All right, joining us on the phone line now is India Today consulting editor Boria Majumdar. Boria, what are you hearing from your sources within the Indian Cricket Board?
The Indian Cricket Board was taken by surprise because I had a chat with the CEO this morning at around 11 o'clock, and he said he has heard nothing. This was the exact question I asked of him. I said, I am hearing Anil will step down, confirm it to me. And he said he's heard nothing. When I spoke to the media manager, when we flashed that Anil will go to the West Indies a couple of days later, when Vikrant and I met a couple of these players at the end of the Pakistan defeat, kept talking about the fact that the way Anil has been treated, 1 day before the final, the advisory committee meets the Indian captain, and that too to discuss the future of Anil Kumble. Now, that is not the exact way Anil Kumble or a legend like him should be treated in Indian cricket. This whole thing has been handled very badly.
Absolutely
the way
right.
India comes to England to defend Champions Trophy titles, you announce a search for a new coach. Your captain and coach risk comes out in the open, which we broke on India Today. You know, Shobit, overall the whole thing smacks of very, very poor man management, and somebody of Kumble's nature has done the right thing. I was hearing you and Nikhil say this. I'm totally with you both that this is not the way a legend should be treated.
No, Boria, but you know, I'm sure you must have asked BCCI why did they not handle it properly. The team lands in the UK for the Champions Trophy, and they announced that they have started the hunt for India's new coach. Then 1 day before the final, the CAC meets Indian captain Virat Kohli to discuss the future of India's coach. I mean, that is just not proper planning. That diverts attention not just of Anil Kumble and Virat Kohli, but the entire team.
I agree. Frankly, I asked all of these questions, and the answers I got from in fact, if you remember, you were live with me on the day of the first India-Pakistan game on June 4th, when Vinod Rai was live with us, and I asked him this, and he said, this is a procedure that is being followed. It was not a procedure, it was clearly a product of the rift between the captain and the coach. Did that impact India's performance in the Champions Trophy? Now everybody will have to agree that yes, it may have impacted India's performance. All said and done, I mean, this is not the way Anil Kumble or anyone for that matter should be treated, or this matter should have been handled. Because, and I asked this question, that how come, you know, the captain is being consulted by members of the advisory committee 1 day before the final, about the future of the coach. How does this even work? I mean, any logic. Sachin, Saurav and VVS Lakshman cannot, for goodness sake, speak to Virat Kohli one day before the final about your coach. I mean, look, the focus has to be the Champions Trophy final.
Absolutely.
Did that impact India's performance? We don't know. But in hindsight, as a conjecture, and this is what, even in our lives with you, I said this at the end of the final. I am reiterating, this matter has been so badly handled that one can't say. But anyone with a degree of self-respect, and Anil Kumble obviously has a serious amount of self-respect, having achieved what he has stepped down. And look at this. Anil Kumble is a legend. 619 wickets, for goodness sake. So PSC is discussing with the captain, about the coach. On the day the Indian team lands in England, he is being told a new hunt for a coach has been announced. Even during the practice, we have observed on several days that Anil would almost be alone. The fact of the matter is, this is not the way a captain-coach relationship should happen. I mean, if there was a breakdown, there is a breakdown, but the way it could have been, dealt with was dealt with pretty poorly. Did the BCCI or could the BCCI have done it something different? Maybe. Maybe they could have kept a lid on it and said, post-Champions Trophy, this whole thing will unfold and, dealt with it better. Having said that, the day India comes to England to defend Champions Trophy title, you announce the hunt for a head coach. Not the best way to deal with things in Indian cricket. But I think Anil has done the right thing because relationship between the captain and the coach had broken down. In the dressing room was fractured, it was divided. This is not the way the team could have gone on to play World Cup 2019.
Absolutely right, Boria. Stay with us. Rashesh Mandani also joins us live from the BCCI headquarters. Rashesh, I'll just come to you, but Nikhil, you wanted to make a point.
Yeah, when you're running the BCCI, you're running cricket in the country. I'm a little surprised when after the success of the Indian team, the home series, the test series, you got a legend who's with the Indian team as a captain. Automatic choice would be, you give him that respect and say, okay, we would want you to continue at the helm of things right to the next World Cup till 2019. Somebody was either caught napping, or in the last minute somebody decided it was a 1-year contract, we need to be doing something. Boria is absolutely right. You cannot be treating players of that stature in that manner. It's all about self-respect, and this, like I said, this I saw coming from Anil Kumble.
Absolutely right. Rashesh Mandani is also live with us from the BCCI headquarters. Rashesh, Boria saying that Anil Kumble's decision has even caught the BCCI off guard. What are you hearing from the Indian Cricket Board?
Well, Shobit, I think the other point that the BCCI would also be worried about, just picking up on that, is that, the whole, the message that is sent out is the team did not want a particular coach, the captain did not want a particular coach, and that is the way it's turned out. If that's the right message, if the new coach coming in would then have to singularly listen to the, way the captain wants the team to run, I think these are issues that the board could have mulled over as well. And Boria is, absolutely right when he said the whole process has been so badly mishandled. I think the one thing that I could think of perhaps is that it's different power centers in the BCCI. A year back when Anil Kumble was appointed, we gather Virat Kohli had some reservations himself, and that's perhaps one of the reasons he wasn't given a long-term contract, only given a 1-year contract. But what did the BCCI then president do? He still went ahead and took his own decision and appointed Anil Kumble as the coach. In fact, the Cricket Advisory Committee had then suggested that Anil be the lead coach and Ravi Shastri be the batting coach. That was their submission, but the president and the press secretary then they made the decision. No, it would be Anil Kumble. So at least there were two people who always decided in the BCCI, the president and the secretary, and they made the call. Right now, with the court-appointed administrators, the office bearers, there is really no sense of how much control a captain or a team should be given, and that's perhaps one of the reasons this issue has been handled in this fashion.
All right, Rashesh, stay with us. Boria, the most important question. Now, the BCCI appointed the Cricket Advisory Committee of the three biggest superstars of Indian cricket, absolute legends, Saurav Ganguly, Sachin Tendulkar and VVS Lakshman. Now, sources told India Today that the Cricket Advisory Committee is keen on Anil Kumble continuing as India's coach. If that was the case, then why has the CAC's advice not been taken by the Indian Cricket Board?
Not sources. I will put it on record. I've spoken to them. Each of them have told us. Not sources. Forget sources. I've spoken to Saurav. I've spoken to Sachin. VVS, Vikrant had spoken to. I'm putting it on record. Each of them wanted Anil Kumble to continue. And that was it. But Anil Kumble, look, even if the CSC decides that Anil should continue, must be Anil is feeling it, that within the dressing room he's unwelcome. And if in the dressing room he's unwelcome, why on earth should he continue? And Rashesh was making a very, very important point. If the captain doesn't want him, means he's gone. Now, if the captain doesn't want the next coach after 6 months down the line, what happens? The next coach goes, and this is not me saying. Members of the BCCI on the day of the final, very key members of the BCCI cannot reveal names here on live TV. They were saying this exact same thing, that suppose Virender Sehwag is appointed as coach, and if Virat Kohli doesn't get along with Virender Sehwag, does he go? Again, 1 year down the line, if someone else doesn't get along, does he go? Where does this process stop? Because someone needs to take the call and bell the cap. The CAC did want Anil Kumble to continue, and I will tell you what they told me, that we appointed him. On what ground do we remove him after he has won so many series for India? What is his fault? The fault is he doesn't get along with the captain. Come on, two adults need to get along, sit across the table and talk. That was the CAC's point, and that was Saurav's point, that was Sachin's point, that was VVS's point. But clearly, Anil Kumble feels, and must be rightly so, that the relationship has broken down to such an extent that this mending of the fences is not possible, and perhaps that is best for Indian cricket. But my alarm is, if the captain has such kind of power that he decides who's the coach, suppose he doesn't like the next coach 6 months down the line, will you change him again?
Absolutely spot on there, Boria. In fact, sports editor Vikrant Gupta is also on the phone line. Vikrant, earlier today, the BCCI announced that Anil Kumble is staying back in London to attend the ICC meet after the team had left for West Indies. So, was this rift between Kumble and Kohli the reason for Kumble not travelling to West Indies?
Well, that will be an understatement, Shobit. And as Boya just said, when you reach a point where it cannot be mended, obviously one of them had to go. And it couldn't have been the Indian captain. I mean, the Cricket Advisory Committee is very disappointed. They're very bitter because Anil Kumble has played alongside them. He's been a legend. And on what grounds do you remove him? On what grounds do you remove him? There's no cricketing ground. And just because the captain and the coach don't get well along with, cannot be the sole reason.
Absolutely.
Virat's had his way. Sehwag will not be the new coach because Sehwag's also been insistent on bringing his own support staff, which again Virat Kohli will oppose. Virat wants Ravi Shastri, but I believe now the situation is such that while the Cricket Advisory Committee may have sacrificed Anil Kumble, or Kumble must have sacrificed himself, it will not be Ravi Shastri, it will be somebody else. And I think the best course could even be go to a foreigner, a Tom Moody or any other person.
Right.
Because right now your team was consumed with this coach, captain issue 1 day before the Champions Trophy final. Just imagine, 1 day before the Champions Trophy final, the captain and the Cricket Advisory Committee and the BCCI were sitting in a hotel room discussing all these points. I mean, obviously, you lost to Pakistan in the final, not because of this issue, but I am sure the dressing room was consumed, as Boria would also testify. Because me and Boria, we've been reporting on this Champions Trophy, and we could see that the dressing room was stiff. We could see that Anil Kumble was stiff. We could also see that Virat was stiff too. And I think it's a huge risk that Virat has taken. He's a youngster. Don't forget the fact that he's a youngster. He's a very, very good batsman. He's one of the best in the world. But as a captain, he's just cutting his teeth. India will travel overseas now. India will travel, and India will play more so outside of India, where the results will not be in our favor. Then you've got the World Cup. Once the team starts losing, I just hope it doesn't. Once the team starts losing, then, critics, the experts, the former players will come out and they will talk about this decision. So Virat has taken a huge risk. It's not going out and batting and scoring runs. This was a very touchy issue in Indian cricket. And I don't think, it's been dealt well with.
In an ideal manner. Absolutely right, Vikrant. Thanks for all those updates. Now, Nikhil, Anil Kumble, not welcome in Team India. Someone of Anil Kumble's stature, one can understand why he's decided to step down. But even Ram Guha spoke about this, isn't it, in his resignation letter, the superstar culture, too much power vested in the captain, Virat Kohli, deciding, having an influence over who will be India's next coach, MS Dhoni being given the A-grade contract despite retiring from Test cricket. Is this superstar culture to blame?
To be honest, I haven't heard anything about Virat Kohli come through the ranks, but we're hearing that there's been something between the two. Unless we hear the other side of the story as well, it'll be hard to comment. But, it's important for team sport that your dressing room environment is very healthy. That's what gets the best out of you. I'm a little surprised that just before the Champions Trophy final, these guys were trying to sort out the coach's problem.
Absolutely.
Because if you want Team India to succeed, these are not the ways to deal with such delicate issues. And don't forget, this is a very critical year. You have to take big decisions on some senior players, whether they continue till the 2019 World Cup or not. Otherwise, you need to start making some changes, giving the youngsters some sort of exposure and experience prior to the 2019 World Cup.
In what has come as a huge shock in Indian cricket, just a few minutes ago, we got the news that Anil Kumble has decided to step down as the head coach of the Indian cricket team. Anil Kumble today did not travel with the team to the West Indies as Virat Kohli and company left for the ODI series. Anil Kumble stayed behind. The BCCI gave the reason that Anil Kumble has to attend an ICC meet, but now sources have confirmed to India today that Anil Kumble has decided to step down and will not be with the team in the tour of West Indies. But Nikhil, this comes as a huge shock. Anil Kumble, a huge reservoir of experience, not just as a cricketer but as a coach as well, really respected figure. But what's the future now of Indian cricket? Kumble is gone. Who are the other contenders? Virender Sehwag is one, Tom Moody another.
Well, we all know who the contenders are, and good luck to whoever gets that job. The important thing is you got to take some big decisions this year. Like I said, you got some senior players. You need to think about their future ahead with the 2019 World Cup coming as well. And hopefully, whoever gets the nod, don't sign a contract till you get it till the 2019 World Cup, because A, you won't be doing justice to you, the kind of time that you're spending, and you need to give somebody a lot of time. And we've got to be patient as well, because don't forget, the honeymoon period is over when you played 13 test matches at home. This is the difficult time coming for Indian cricket as well, when you will be travelling abroad.
But what do you feel? Someone like Sehwag, who's almost friends with the rest of the team, will work well?
No, Viru's a straight shooter. He might be your best friend, but he's not shy of calling a spade a spade. I think he might do a good job for Team India. I have no doubts about that whatsoever. He's one man. Even if he's trying to get Virat Kohli on his side, he doesn't agree, but whatever is right, he'll make sure he's going to go that way.
Absolutely right. So Anil Kumble has stepped down, but the message goes out to all members of the BCCI that the planning for the 2019 World Cup should start now. Whoever you appoint as the next coach must be given a contract till the 2019 World Cup at least.